Windows update did not ruin a great many things. I actually haven't found out what it's ruined yet. Which is not a good sign. But let's play the game. And good morning, Mr. JRPG. Right there. The storyteller wrote a new story right before our very eyes. A man from afar falls to a golden curse, and a woman from afar cries out in grief. This passage could be referring to Mr. Wright and Miss Fay. You must hurry over to them at once. I have a terrible feeling something will happen at the alchemist's house today. Did I save? Because that does not reference what actually happened. It doesn't make sense. How has it come to this? A darned witch. Why did it have to happen to the professor of all people? You gotta believe me, Nick. I may be a spirit medium, but I'm no witch. Don't worry, I know it wasn't you. Why would anybody believe? Volume go down, please. Please. Thank you. Say, have you seen Luke today? I haven't seen him since last night. He was crying all night. I didn't know what to say to him. No kidding. He's the one suffering the most from all this, poor kid. Probably needs some time alone with his grief. We should leave him be. Yeah, he shouldn't have to see this trial. It'd be too hard for him. Oh, it's Espella. What are you doing here, Espella? Have you been cleared of the accusations? No, not yet. If only it was that easy. It's just that I'm not technically under arrest, so I got special permission to come here. I'm free to go wherever I like within this building. I see. You're being accused of a witch, but you're not under arrest. Heard about Mr. Layton. It's awful. He was such a good man. I'm sorry, Espella. What are you apologizing for? We were supposed to find clues connected to Bazella, but we couldn't find anything, and now the professor's been... No, don't say that. It's not your fault. I don't believe a word of what they say about Maya. She isn't a witch. Thank you, Espella. Mr. Wright, do you mind if I assist you in court today? I know I may not be of much use, but I'll do what I can. I want to help you and Maya. Ella. Excuse me. You're Gray Earl, butler of the late Master Belduke. I have come to inquire after Miss Maya. It is most regrettable what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. You look really pale, Jean. Jean? Are you alright, Jean? Oh, please don't worry about me. It's merely that, since the incident, sleep has eluded me. Oh. I spent the night searching through Master's notes on alchemy. I hoped there may be some mention of a method by which something turned to gold may be reverted back to its original form. You were looking for a way to rescue the professor? Human fate is often cruel, but that's also why we must never lose hope. Jean. Is his name really Jean Grey Earl? Jean? Defender, accused. The trial's about to start. Proceed to the chamber. Yes, we're coming. Nick, cheer up, Maya. Not going to let them sentence you. I just wish all this would stop already, whether someone's a witch or not. No one deserves to be burned. I know, I can't stand for it either. If you'll kindly excuse me now, I must return to my duties. Oh, no problem. We appreciate you coming to see us. Something's bothering me. Jean seems somewhat odd today. Jean is totally testifying against Maya. It is happening. Betrayal of the 9th degree. Let's go, Mr. Wright. The trial is about to begin. Cat hair just like floating in the air. At least I think that was a cat hair.
The trial of Maya Fey shall now begin, as scheduled. Knights of the court, are you ready to cross your swords of justice?
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum always has his sword ready for the work of justice.
Defense ready, Your Honor. At this stage, I've just got to give it all I've got.
It would appear the defender has thrown down the gauntlet, Sir Barnum. Now, before we begin, may I have a word with you, defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last time we met, you stood in this court as an apprentice baker. In all honesty, when I saw you for the first time, I thought to myself, a baker should stick to bread baking.
Is that so? What a fine first impression I made.
However, today you are not merely some befuddled maker of sweet buns. I'm obliged to fully recognize you as a knight of law and justice, on par with Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum. Now may your duel begin. Fight bravely and expose the truth behind this heinous crime.
All right! We're all counting on you, Inquisitor Barnum!
I knew she was a witch as soon as I laid my eyes on her. She's got witch written all over her.
Kinda does.
Why not put the baker on trial? Bake the baker, I say! Barnum! 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 Barnum!
They treat him like some sort of celebrity.
He may be adored by the crowds, but when he pointed his sword my way, you managed to shield me from his accusations. Maya clearly isn't a witch, so surely your victory is certain.
Thank you for believing in me, Espella.
Espella Cantabella. I have given you leave to come to this trial today. However, that does not mean that the charges against you have been dropped. Rather than worry about others, you should consider your own situation.
Thank you for granting me your permission, Inquisitor.
I feel like there's a large fundamental issue about having a trial for someone being accused of a witch. And one of the people that is defending the witch is someone being accused of being the greatest witch of all time. You know, it's seems to be an issue there. Oh, Inquisitor Bonham, you may begin something as you wish, my lord. I don't know why I didn't read that. As usual, let us commence this trial by first recounting the events. If it pleases you, Sir Blue Knight. You wish, Inquisitor. I still can't get used to this terminology. This heinous crime occurred in the residence of the late Newton Belduke, the alchemist. Here is the sketch planned of his residence. And these people move quick. Happened, what, yesterday? This room, of a somewhat questionable nature, is the alchemist's study, in which the incident took place. The only ones present at the moment of the crime were the accused and the victim, no one else. Witnesses who arrived at the scene seconds later have indicated where they found the accused and the victim. Very well, the sketch is accepted as evidence. The accused took Sir Layton's life with the most cruel of magic. A living man 1 second, a gold statue the next. Such wickedness. Magic that turns things into gold? Sure, why not? Several townspeople rushed to the room and paid witness to the horror of this magic. The accused has been captured and charged. Goodness, that is terrifying. Rumors have reached me that the victim was a most scintillating man. I'm not quite certain whether it was prior to or after. But incidentally, was this Sir Layton not the same hat maker who attended our previous trial? No, he wasn't a hat maker. Bizarre as it is, Sir Layton's profession and origin remain unknown. He was a stranger in the city, that is all we know. And you, sir, his acquaintance. You are an unusual presence in our city yourself. Today's case certainly is peculiar. And that is not the last of the peculiarities, my lord. The alchemist's study has been the scene of another strange incident in the past. Ah yes, I remember it as if it were yesterday. The mysterious death of Newton Belduke himself. Indeed, my lord, regrettably, the only case of witchcraft still to remain unsolved in our fair city. The witch may have escaped her punishment back then. But perhaps today is the day on which both these mysterious crimes shall be solved. What are you implying? Patience. You will know soon enough, Sir Suddenly Pale Blue Knight. Pretty easy to see that he's implying that both crimes have been conducted by Maya Fey. How interesting. It seems that the Inquisition has something up their sleeve. Now, Inquisitor Barnham, you may begin. Thank you, my lord. The Inquisition summons the witness to this malicious crime of witchcraft. If only I'd made it to the room sooner. Maybe I could have prevented all this from happening. Won't let Maya take the rap for this. I'll find every single crack in their testimony and prove it wasn't her. Welcome to the Witch's Court, honorable witnesses. Now, let us hear your names and occupations. I am known far and wide as a mere Punchenbog. I guess the first. Soon to be the new head of Punchenbog's retail organization, Pro.
Hang on!
Wait a minute. Witness. What's that, Blue Squire? You're that guy from the previous trial. Because what the heck's happened to you? You look like you've been on one of those ultimate makeover shows. Whatever do you mean? The name is Amir Punchenbog the First. Soon to be the head of Punchenbog's retail organization, Pro. The meaning of this, Inquisitor? Do not care to delve into this witness's personal affairs. Looks like he remembers him all too well. Witnesses, pray continue. Oh, dearie me. It is I who usually asks the questions. I am, you see, a humble teacher. Call me Miss Primstone. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths about this world from me. Elementary school teacher, huh? Good to know at least one witness seems sensible. Winds carry my song. It's birdly stringing along. Parrot and bard, ensemble avant-garde. This guy's gonna be annoying. My faithful muse here is Cracker, the musical parrot. No one understands music like Cracker. Aside from me, naturally. At least it's not another goat. What a smart bird. He just imitated that teacher perfectly. I'm Luke Triton. My occupation is the professor's apprentice. Luke? Luke, but why? What are you doing there? I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth. But Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witnesses stand. I'll never forgive that witch. A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face. Luke, your friend today can be your enemy tomorrow, such as the hard reality of the battlefield. What the heck? Are you serious? Are you serious? Witnesses, we will now hear your testimonies. Tell us all of this wicked incident which you have been unfortunate enough to witness. There is no way Luke would do this. There's no way. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends, Mr. Silk Hat and a knife at the ready in his hand. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for, I heard the staff fall on the floor. The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. Thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer. Singer, could you possibly mean me? Birdley the Bard, Your Excellence. Yes, that would be you, singer, this staff that you said sung about. It is as you suspect, my lord, this very witch's scepter. There are two different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used two types of magic. Yeah, it would seem so. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell, Goldor. Goldor. Just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. That's the one, alright. That's the dreadful incantation I, Mere Punchinbog the First, also heard. Oh dearie me, I have seen that scepter, so I have. Clank tips over the golden man. The scepter falls, not the witch's plan. Dearie me. How dare she do that to the professor? By the way, this witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketched plans, it was located right here. Scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot.
Objection!
Visitor Barnham, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. Come on, we've been over this. You are on edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you had better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence. Thank you, my lord. Okay, what's the other gem? Transmutes the caster's target into solid gold. The spell will transmute the closest target within range. Visitor Barnham, may I ask you something? What is it now, Sir Blue Knight? You know that one of the gems is for the spell Goldor, but what about the other one? There you go. A naive question. Huh? Naivete may be no hindrance to a baker who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in court. Would a knight put a weapon in his enemy's hand? Telling me to do my homework, huh? Mr. Wright. I'll look for information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Isabella. That would be great. Yes. Let's give an accused great witch the Grand Grimoire that has all the spells in it. That'll be a good idea. Leave it to me. I was very happy to help. The defender may interrogate the witnesses. Cross-examination. Alright, I heard a scream and an incantation. And then, when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny.
Hold it!
And, what is all this about exactly? What do you mean, Blue Squire? Your gaudy, colorful outfit. I mean, your attire was different last time, a little more modest. Ymir you knew back then is no more. I'm a new man now, reborn into the higher echelons of society. Be drinking. There's a skull and crossbones mark on that bottle. Enough idle chatter. The witness heard a scream and an incantation. Is that correct? That's right. Just like what you said earlier. Inquisitor Barnham? Was the spell Goldor, and it was, without a doubt, the voice of the accused that said it. However, it's rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, he seemed to be on friendly terms. The next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord. Perhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silk Hat had a knife at the ready in his hand.
Hold it!
You're saying you think they quarreled? The other day I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true. But what's that got to do with? Now everyone listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. What I say now will be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5, friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People would not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. Kids in her class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh dearie me. What I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silk Hat was pointing that glittering knife ever so threateningly. Professor threatened Maya with a knife? That sounds hard to believe. Perhaps he discovered that she was a witch, or she tried to attack him first. Oh, wait. Didn't I hear? I did.
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke? Oh, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman, and no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. Couldn't agree more. Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I'm a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper? Professor would never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright? What is it? I think there was some important information in Miss Primstone's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say things like that. I didn't notice anything. What could that be? What was Espella about to say? Speak out, sucker. Hello, oh, why don't you tell us what you've noticed? Us? Who's us? Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Primstone about. Oh, just go ahead and ask her. Excuse me, Miss Primstone. Do you mind if I ask you a question? No, it's you, Miss Espella Cantabella. Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. A most frightening sight it was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if you look at the sketch... when the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? That must have been the case. Otherwise, the witness would not have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? The direction the professor was facing, that could be important. Information shall be added to the court record. Sorry I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help. Not at all, Spella. We were able to get some more info, which may just come in handy. You think so? Now then, the next witness shall continue with the testimony. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for. I heard the staff fall on the floor. This guy's fired. I don't want any more of this. You mind describing what you saw without singing about it? As you wish, my musically impaired friend. Thank you. Simply put, when I entered the room, the victim was worth his weight in gold, for obvious reasons. He tipped over and fell heavily on the floor. The room became drearily silent. And then I heard that scepter tumbling across the floor. Oh, someone had something to say about that. Couldn't he have just said it like that the first time around? Clearly, the witch must have dropped the scepter then.
Objection!
That's merely your assumption now. Now, Mr. Birdley, did you actually see Maya drop the scepter, or did you just hear something tumbling on the floor? Okay, let's go over to you.
Hang on!
May I ask you something, Miss Brimstone? Dear me, dear me. My dear, do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class. Miss Brimstone, did you see the witch's scepter at the crime scene? Well, about that, I must confess, I do not clearly recall. You don't remember? When I went to the room, the golden man fell down and made quite the ruckus. That is why I did not notice a scepter being dropped. So you didn't see it after all. But I am certain that witch girl had it. You must have been hiding it behind her back.
Objection!
Please don't assume Maya's a witch just because she's been accused. Brimstone is certainly quick to make assumptions. See, now we would like to hear the witness's testimony. This witness is a bit problematic. Professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face.
Hold it!
Luke, open your eyes. Maya isn't a witch. Ever since we came to this town, lots of unbelievable things have happened. And that's why, from now on, I'll only believe what I see with my own eyes. Luke, when I went into that room, the only people I saw were the professor and Maya. The professor had been turned to gold and Maya dropped that scepter. That's not true. What? I didn't have any scepter, and we weren't the only ones in that. Silence. The accused has no right to speak. Be silent. Silent or you will face punishment. You can end this trial immediately should you decide to feel talkative again. Sorry. Well, Luke, is that really the truth? Just, make sure everybody, over here. Huh? Did you really see the scepter? I don't know. When the professor turned to gold and collapsed right in front of me, everything seemed to fade to black. Then I could have sworn I at least heard Maya drop the scepter. Scepter was found at the scene of the crime. That is the unavoidable truth. Only the accused could have dropped it. Isn't looking good. Feels so sorry for Luke. He's so full of anger and despair that he can't think clearly. He said he can't forgive the witch. I understand how he feels. Anyway, I need to find a way to calm Luke down, first of all. Let's see.
Hold it! Hang on!
Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, you ain't got nothing. I already know. So that led to the knife. Oh, you know what I was confused about is where the door was. But I see. Okay, so the door is here. How did the staff get over there? I guess I can't do anything with the knife yet because... yeah, there's no knife found at the crime scene.
Hold it!
That really the truth. Is that the truth, sucker? Anybody. What a weird noise. I think that's outside, not in the game. Interesting how this shows up here. Why can't I present right now? Do I present the floor plan to you? I don't know. It could be the guy. It could be the person who is pointing the knife. It could be the person who says it fell on the floor. It could be Luke, who the game is pointing to and, you know, face to face. It could be anybody.
Objection!
It technically could be anybody. Luke, you said that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what did you think, or what you think you saw may not be the whole truth? What do you mean? Take a closer look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh. You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they are standing, one thing is clear. There is a contradiction in your testimony. It's still insane that he's testifying. Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room. One was a victim, the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I'll ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. You told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who is he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. He was the one who opened the door to that room. Well, I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was first to witness, and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh dear me, will you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders? Inquisitor Barnham? Yes, my lord. Should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, that sparkly golden body of his has been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. Court attendants, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. Seems like they're going to bring the golden statue. Professor. I don't remember seeing, whatchamacallit. Where's his arm, man? Look at that. Did he get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor! This is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. Looks like the work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans. My lord, by the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. I can't believe this, Professor. Suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. Hasn't been found. A poor professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence. This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. Maya, Professor didn't have a knife, and also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there, too. Please believe me. Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage, you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again, and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
but it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone, and that person wasn't Maya. For Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise. Huh? You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say. Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court, other than you, knows what Sir Hat was pointing at. What? Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I am here, punching bag. Love me some gossip and stories of the occult. Elusive like mist, the magical beast, its chilling breath brings about death. Oh dearie, me. You could use some education, Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap. The professor wasn't confronting Maya. Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about the other presence at the crime scene. A shadow. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time, her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. Truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. He didn't say what they did. The same magic trick was used. They're referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. He had locked himself in his study, and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. Oh my gosh, it was the butler. Holy cow, it was the butler. The butler reached where that painting was, and the green stuff. He reached through the wall, strangled the sucker, and then undid it. Like that. That's crazy. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilt all over the floor. Powdered medicine. Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered the room, clear footprints would have remained, yet there were none. That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Thus, there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death: the culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they disappeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it could have been Demir magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice. What? No way. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too? We weren't even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
Can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even... Bender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. We all know what happened.
Hold it!
You're talking about Mr. Belduke's murder, which took place in a locked room. Yeah, a real shocker, alright. Everyone was talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know, you're thinking it too, eh? Don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Ain't it as clear as day? He was an alchemist. An alchemist. Alchemy's just like magic, ain't it? Sir Belduke was a man. Only a woman can be a witch. What's more, witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different, somehow. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature, or so it is said. Well, that sounds a lot like magic to me. Alchemy's incomprehensible to regular people. It's all magic, really. And you know, a couple of days before the witch got him, there was that lightning that struck. Lightning? Glad you're asking, because I like telling that one. All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, there was this bolt from the sky, only it wasn't blue. The sky lit up and turned blood red, and then, out of nowhere, an old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty powerful stuff, eh? Now, straight off the topic at hand, witness, this is a courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later. Same place, same trick. This time her luck ran out and dropped that magic scepter. You could have said, drop that magic stick, and you would have had some balls. Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Brimstone? You could say I am a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind the mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere glided through the air and vanished after making the kill. Indeed, yes, and the witch's scepter confirms my theory. A brilliant deduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Brimstone. She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the purple magic gem. Spell's called Themalia. Themalia? What does it do? Spell Themalia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar to... was a familiar that took Sir Belduke's life, and now it has appeared again. Her silk hat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. Thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduke and Sir Silk Hat were both killed by the same witch. What? An unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. One forth a magical familiar from the shadows. Although it possesses a physical form, it is completely weightless. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Oh dearie me. I was right, as always. gruesome murder will be in the next exam. Make sure you take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. We are all ears, Miss Primstone. That maker was pointing the knife at the witch's familiar.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar? Oh, dearie me. No, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we would have all seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally shilly-shally.
Hang on!
Is everything all right, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something. No, it's not right at all. Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony that you would like to comment on? That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Hearie me. What an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
At any rate, as we can see now, victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail, it matters not. A mere detail matters not. Oh my, anyhow, I wonder where could that missing arm be? Yeah, that ought to be looked into. That's right, the arm. Wasn't it found at the crime scene? Where? I never saw it there. Oh, golden arm, where can you be? Reveal yourself, listen to my plea. I'm afraid I did not notice it. It is indeed astonishing that the arm could have disappeared from the crime scene. Professor will need his arm when he returns to normal. An all-out robbery. Go and investigate it. Boy's request is not unreasonable. I will order our occult crime analyst to search for it. How could the arm just up and vanish from the crime scene? That might be the clue I need to give me the upper hand over Barnham. Court considers the whereabouts of the arm irrelevant to this trial. Mr. Wright, make sure you limit your interrogation to relevant matters. Yes, Your Honor. Now continue with the interrogation. Alright. Which cannot vanish.
Hold it!
Bring the confusion. A beautiful song, sure, but would you mind testifying a bit more comprehensible way? As you wish, musically impaired defender. A certain man was killed some 3 months ago. You mean Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist, right? It was a locked room murder accomplished through the ruse of a certain mysterious spell. A locked room murder, I think we mentioned that a little bit earlier in the game, and somebody, I believe it was Maya, mentioned that the people of the, well, maybe not mentioned, but it was alluded to that the people of this era would not understand what a locked room murder was. Because, you know, that's probably more of a what do you call it? Like a term for later. I mean, I guess it could be a term for this, but, you know, I think they goofed here. Oh, accomplished through the use of a mysterious spell. And that same magic has been used in this case, too. The witch that committed the crime disappeared without a trace. He hasn't been found to this day, huh? Pretty much what I expressed in my song. I knew that already. Even a peerless bard such as myself may not have been completely up to date with the latest information. Isn't that so, Cracker? You understand, don't you, my peerless feathery partner? Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Adorable bird, he's intimidating you, right? Being parroted by a parrot. We capture all witches without exception. This one may have been at large longer than others, but she will not escape us. Next witness. Happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches.
Hold it!
And that mystery is... witch's identity, of course. Can't believe I'm getting stared down by a little kid. Don't get me wrong. I want to believe you and Maya. But I saw the witch's scepter on the floor. No one else could have dropped it. When I saw the professor, everything went black in front of my eyes. But I did hear the scepter fall on the floor. There was a witch in that room, and it had to be Maya. Luke. If only the professor were here to tell me what to believe in. What do you think, Mr. Wright? We need to dig down to the truth as soon as possible, for Maya and for Luke, too. I hope we can do it. It'd be easier if there were some clear contradictions in their testimonies, but I haven't noticed anything. Perhaps this time, we should take a step back and observe each witness, while they're not the ones speaking. The four of them are listening to each other's testimonies. That may give me an opportunity to question them on one another's testimonies and find the gaps in their stories. Full of good ideas, Espella. How about we give that a shot? Sure. Hey, Morganites guys. Oops.
Hold it!
Gotta be a better way to look at all these people. Okay, I've already done hers.
Hold it!
Let's see if anybody else got anything to... Okay, so it has to be the knife again. Has to be the knife.
Hold it!
Okay. Think your stream looks better since your face cam got bigger? Remember my face was super tiny before? Well, it's always super tiny, but you know, thank you. You know, if the space allows, I will make it bigger. I personally like my camera to be smaller because, you know, it's not necessarily about my face being on screen. It's about, you know, the video game. I want to show the video game. And so I make my presence as unintrusive without being completely unintrusive, I suppose. You know, no face camera or microphone or whatever. I've seen some people. Okay, I don't remember who these people are. You know, I just stop by their streams and then see like the thumbnail or whatever, where like that second screen over there, not this one up here, but that one over there. They have the gameplay like that size, and then they have overlays and things like that in other places. And you know, I model my streams for what I want to see, and I definitely don't want to see that. So. You know, if I have to watch my own streams, I gotta make them at least somewhat presentable for myself. You know, if I can't watch my own streams, then we've got a problem there.
Hold it!
No way!
You are my student, blah, 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 blah.
Hang on!
You've got this one.
Objection!
Okay. Oh, okay. The victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof they had something. But a mere detail matters not. Mere detail matters. Okay, maybe not. Wonder where could the arm be? Yeah, that ought to be looked into. Ah.
Hang on!
There you go. Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Did you sell the arm for all that stuff? Mr. Amir. It's a mere punch and bog to you, Bluey. Likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man of wealth such as me. Seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleed and please. Anyway, why are you looking at me with like that? I don't know about that golden bloke's right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. What is it, a spello? Maybe wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks suspicious? It's not just you. Everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Mr. Amir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? I told you, I know nothing. Nada, zero, nil. I ain't seen it, or heard about it, or put it in me pocket. Put it in your pocket. It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection! Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
Order. Who is that person? Want to know who I am? I'm Price, the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless, cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you. On the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. He waltzed up to me saying he'd got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust. I think I know where this is going. That work of art, could it be? I've got it right here. Just like I thought. That's, oh my, Professor. The Professor's arm. Dun, dun, dun. You like neat overlays? You think neat overlays are nice, but some are too big and busy? I would agree with that. Are there many suckafoos in this game? Everybody's a suckafoo in this game. Absolutely everyone. There's no doubt about it. It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled Towards Tomorrow or something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold so fine before. And so, suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You're as bad as a witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. I saw it. It was already like that. What do you mean? It was... I was last to the scene, and it caught me eye right away. That arm, pointing up at the ceiling, with such optimism and authority. I thought it looked like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was the work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket, and you pawned it. You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now. Darn it, I can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Amir Punchenbog's motto. Hey, Epic Otter, thank you very much for the 18 months. Here's to another month with the best acronym maker around. Where were we now? Oh yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. I'm pressing the button. Knights of the Court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. Why is he over there? As everybody can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Deary me, it seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to the witness's testimony, that was the case, yes. Well then, I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed, the victim's finger has a glint to it resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity, it's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at. No puzzle's a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. Guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that too. I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. He's just taking pity on me. Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? Huh? As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You'd better apologize to me now. Badgering me for no reason like that. Is that all there is to it, or could that arm hold some other clues? I've come this far, maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right, I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Amir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. You know what? I've been using, or for the past trial, I used this particular section to mark, and I'm going to do that again and just apologize in advance.